From our Cape Town studios, Graham Sinclair, co-founder of SinCo and the Africa Sustainable Investment Forum. Graham, thank you so much for your time today. It's all about Africa right now. Everyone wants an opportunity on the continent. The question is, how do we get to finding these opportunities and also getting access to the right information and, of course, the right people? You've now launched a platform where some investors, global investors interested in Africa, can do this on a good basis. Give us your view on the opportunities that lie ahead.
Well, thank you very much for having us on, Eleni. On behalf of the Steering Committee of Africa SIF, there's a lot of us, there's people around the world and on the African continent who help making Africa SIF happen. There's great opportunity in Africa. Many people are calling it the last investment frontier. We know there's going to be millions, if not billions of dollars, euros, renminbi, pesos coming to Africa in the next 10 years. And what we're thinking about it as Africa Sustainable Investment Forum is, when that money comes, are we making sure that it factors in all fundamental factors when valuing investments? That means you include financials, obviously, economics, yes, but let's also think about the environmental, social, and governance risks and returns built into every one of those decisions.
You mentioned that Africa is seen as the last economic frontier, and a lot of people are looking into Africa for those opportunities, but you're also talking about sustainable growth here and sustainable investment when it comes to Africa. A lot of hot money comes into the countries, various countries. How do we shift those perceptions? So it's, in other words, not about making a quick buck, but of course investing into longer term projects, despite the fact that we might see some concerns coming through on a macro front.
Sure, and that's a good point, Eleni. Whether it's the investment that's in Ghana into agriculture and the green revolution, if it's into former war-torn areas in Ethiopia or Sudan, whether it's in Mozambique where they're struggling with the food pricing issue right now, it's all about making investment decisions and making sure it's not hot money, it's not day trading mentality, but sustainable investment is all about thinking, what is the price today, as well as the price when you exit. It's the entry and the exit to the investment decision. It's not about one-day thinking, it's about 5-day thinking, it's about, it's about 5-year thinking, it's about 20-year thinking. So one of the very common ways of thinking about it is, what is a pension fund going to invest in? If a pension fund has to invest for a pensioner, a worker, and the child that's a beneficiary of that pension fund, how can we get that intergenerational sustainable investment thinking in the game? It's happening. There's great momentum. We had a wonderful launch here in Cape Town last night. It's our second launch event. There's a lot of momentum behind this. And importantly, it's not just the big institutional players. Yes, global investors are interested in Africa, but it's also the Africans themselves. Are they buying their own investment products? Are they asking the right
Because
questions?
essentially we are dealing with around 54 countries on the continent, so very different regulations for all of these countries, different government environments as well. But at the end of the day, it's about access to the right information. I'm sure you don't know as yet what investors are looking at, which parts of the economy they're interested in, but where are you seeing the most interest coming through? You said Africans are interested in Africa. What about the other territories on a global level?
Sure, absolutely. And you've seen a lot of that happening with global emerging markets and investors. Basically, they're deciding between, do we invest in Argentina, Turkey, Brazil, South Africa, Korea. So they have to make those levels of decisions. The same is true for investors who are currently in South Africa or in other major markets in Africa like Morocco, Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. There's been a blossoming of Pan-Africa funds right now. But fundamentally, what we're hoping through Africa SIF is that we can increase the amount of information every 2 years, run an asset survey. What is the size of the sustainable investment market in Africa? Secondly, increase the knowledge base. What is the knowledge out there? And thirdly, that we deliver advocacy. Whether it's a strong regulation environment or weak, we know that as investment professionals, we can offer to include ESG factors. That's something that we can do today. In terms of where the sectors, where the opportunities lie, the usual suspects are always there, the resources, the extractives, but also mobility and mobile telephony, telecommunications, and agriculture seems to be coming up week after week.